in the journey of Amal Technologies Limited. Today marks the official commissioning of our state-of-the-art facility, the first of its kind in the entire of sub-Saharan Africa, a manifestation of innovation, collaboration, and an unwavering commitment to revolutionize the technological landscape in Nigeria. I think before delving into the details of this remarkable achievement, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for gracing this event with your presence. Your support has been invaluable, and your belief in our vision has propelled us to this significant milestone. To our esteemed guests, distinguished partners, shareholders, our board chairman, employees, and the broader community, I say thank you. A special acknowledgement goes to the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board for their unwavering support and guidance. As we stand at the threshold of a new era, it is imperative to reflect on the journey that brought us here. I first heard about NCDMB from a dear friend called Ahmed Obalola, and when we started this project, I did not know anyone in NCDMB. I simply had hope and a vision for technological advancement in Nigeria. Exactly 5 years ago, I had a great idea of a product. And that product, there is a story behind that product. One day, I came back home and I saw one of our gas cylinder already caught fire. I was the only man in the house. I had to see how to extinguish that fire on the gas leak detector. So I said to myself, as a technologist and an innovator, I should have a device that will let me know anything or whatever is going on in my house. So that was the story behind this Amal gas leak detector. So I started from the ideation, and I approached NCDMB that I have a product that can be used for safety in homes and also in the process industry, since this is what you actually do. And that actually fall in line with what NCDMB was trying to do at that time, gas value chain. So I did my first presentations to Mr. Malik Halilu and his team, Jonathan, Kaka, Chinedu, etc. At that time, he was the GM of R&D. He was so impressed with the idea because I went with a breadboard. I wish they can show the breadboard, how it looks like at that time. So I went with a breadboard, testing the device. I think they're going to show it on the screen. So he loved the idea, and then he quickly took it up, and then he took it up with his then director, Mr. Patrick Oba. Subsequently, in 2019, they invited me January for presentation again. I went there, I presented this innovative idea to them. At that time, NCDMB was forming their R&D incubation process. So I was like, Amatech was like the first child of R&D incubation process from NCDMB. They gave birth to that. We went through the R&D incubation process. So subsequently, they scheduled a formal presentation to the R&D Council, which was headed at the time by the former ES engineer Simbi Kesei Wabute, who at that time was the first time I was seeing him as well. And with the then Director of Finance, Mr. Isaac Yala. And I thank you also for your support in looking at the business plan, how is it possible, is it market viable, and everything. These are all individuals that I have never met them before prior to this. I don't know any one of them. They were just strictly professional. They saw a product that can add value into Nigeria, and they love the fantastic idea that we can produce these things locally. I came to them with the idea that, look, these things can be done. I have done my research. We can actually bring production into Nigeria. So they said, okay, let's give it a try. So we follow the process of R&D incubation process, whereby from ideation, we go to proof of concepts. So already I have a breadboard, a working gas leak detector, which we tested, and they believe, okay, this idea can work. So the next stage is let's go to proof of concepts, which we did. From there, the next stage was to found Amal Technologies and also to register for patent, We paid for patent, we registered for patent, and then we now did a field trial. So the field trial happened in 2020. So I think it is important to say this story because a lot of people think it's easy. It wasn't easy. NCDMB process is so rigorous. At some point I thought, especially Mr. Malik, I thought he was my enemy. Because of, you have to follow the main process, that this is how it's supposed to be. So it's a journey of like 5 years. So in 2020, if you recall, I mentioned it started in 2018, but in 2019, we did the proof of concept and what have you. In 2020, they invited me for another field trial, and I met with the R&D Council, which was constituted by other agencies of the federal government. So we did a field trial, and then we distributed it to the oil and gas industries, and DPR, Sun, and other stakeholders in the industry. They gave their final approval that, okay, this product is worth doing. And from there, we now move to, forming the business plan. And in 2021, after, several processes, we got approval from the governing council that they should invest in this. But for me, I wasn't looking at that gas leak detector alone. Yes, it's an innovative product that is going to save lives, because this is a device that when you place it in your kitchen, if there's any leakage, it detects the early signs of those leakages, and then it will send you an SMS to your mobile phone, call your mobile phone if the intensity of the gas is getting high. Then you have another device to place on the gas cylinder, which automatically shuts it off. So it's a fantastic product, and we have a lot of people asking us for such products, even not only in Nigeria, but even outside. But what I'm trying to say here is, my idea has gone beyond that product at that time. I was looking at, if we can produce this product in Nigeria with the knowledge we have, that means we can literally manufacture and produce technological device end-to-end locally, something that has never been done in Africa. So as I stand before you today, I can confidently tell you, you are in a facility that is first of its kind. We have state-of-the-art facility. We have a powerful R&D team. We can literally produce any consumer electronics, anything hardware, end-to-end. We start our production from chemicals, as you're going to see. We have other products just to test the capability and the capacity of this facility. We have other products that we already produce, like energy meters. And I can confidently say, not only in Nigeria, in the sub-Saharan Africa, we are the only one that can produce smart energy meters from our design to the production, as you're going to see shortly. We can produce that end to end. So we are not coupling or we are not assembly. We produce that, and we also produce our casing, as you're going to see shortly. Not only that, we have other products such as POS. We have, first of its kind POS as well, which accept payment offline. We have security devices. We have all sorts of, smart devices which you are going to see when you go into the production. So I want to thank you again, because, and on this note, I want to thank and congratulate the new ES, which within short period of time, he has given us maximum support. He made sure this commissioning happened. Within short period of time, he said we must commission this place, and he's already given us a support that. Thank you. And his vision aligns with what this gives us hope that with him now, our long-term goal, which is semiconductor, is a done deal. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would think that Shehu Tijani Abdullahi deserves a resounding applause. Listening to him, you can easily tell that he's not someone who borrowed idea from somebody and is running with it as the poster child. No. As they say, he is down there in the trenches of ideation and coming up with what we're here today to launch and to commission. So congratulations one more time, and thank you for this. Give him, please, one more round of applause. Thank you so much. Now, to give us a tone setting from the perspective of the board, we'd like to welcome Director Monitoring and Evaluation of the Board, Mr. Abdul Malik Halilu. Please give me a round of applause. You heard Shehu speak about him, this coming to him when he was a GM. He stayed consistent even until now. You're welcome, sir.
Honorable Ministers, Executive Secretary, distinguished participants, my context setting will revolve around how was this possible for a government institution to drive this process. There were three major value levers. The structure that was put in place, the strategy, and effective resource utilization. The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, the agency of the federal government responsible for local content implementation. There are 6 major pillars of success, and one of the pillars is research and development. The Act recognizes the fact that you need to have a robust R&D capability in country for you to be able to drive local manufacturing, production, and service delivery. So it is within that context that NCDMB decided to develop an R&D strategy, which involved also establishing an incubation center within the board. Now, how did we do it? We leveraged the experience of the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, for some of you that know that institution, which projects, which means that they looked at their environment, as India, looked at what are their requirements, social, technology, engineering, and they constructed their research projects around addressing the needs of the Indian economy. So we had a lot of experience around reverse engineering, disruptive innovation, and how we can harness the talents of our youths in a structured manner to deliver value in terms of innovation. Now, innovation is basically either leading to improvements in an existing product or even developing a new product through research efforts. So that was a mindset that we had when we developed the technology, innovation, and incubation model. We have a policy in place in NCDMB on technology innovation, and then we have a center within the board which does 3 basic things: venture sourcing, looking at sending out annual call for proposals to look at how researchers can construct problem statements to address the peculiarities of the Nigerian environment. We support them through what we call a selection process and pick the best in terms of their ability to define, and then also up to business development. And then, of course, the ultimate objective of the Technology Innovation and Incubation Center is to produce startup companies. So it's not research for research sake, but it must lead to a creation of a startup company. What that means is that a new business venture, a new company will be created out of innovation, which means new jobs, new products, and then of course replacement of imported products that came to us, as we're all aware, when we talk about roles to support. So it was relevant to the trends and the requirements of government at that point. But then you have to prove that you are the owner of the technology. That was where the idea of proof of concept came. We collaborated with the Nigeria Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, NOTAP. We subjected the young man. This is also an interesting bit of the story because we used 3D printers. It went through several ideation processes. The size of the device that you see today wasn't the original device. It went through several iterations, design thinking, and all sorts, to develop a prototype that we could send to the industry to test. You needed to test it to even establish its workability. So that was done, and then NOTAB now granted the patent, which means there was originality in the products. So the originality was around being able to get an SMS when there's a gas leakage, and then ultimately a call. So that was also done. And like you rightly said, these were things we started from 2018 up to today. So after the patent registration, we now had to subject it to field trial. So the field trial meant that we needed to engage stakeholders who were using gas to test the device in their kitchen. Some of the stakeholders say, wow, I hope this will not blow up and all that. So we needed to justify that, yes, some of us used it in our kitchens. And there was a checklist of what you should look out for before you, and then there was also a timeline that we attached to that checklist. So when they completed the checklist, we processed it and then sent it back to the defunct DPR. I'm happy the successor agencies, DPRA, have taken it up. There's continuity in the thought process. I recall that when they got our letter, they even remembered that this happened, and they were happy that NCDMB actually continued with the idea. So the field trials show that it's a product that can be progressed. Now, there's a difference between innovation and business. So we needed